In this video we're looking at how we add and subtract decimal numbers. It's very similar to just adding and subtracting normal numbers. We've got a lot of similar things to remember, but there is something extra to consider. So here we've got 63.4 and we're adding 2.17. Now you'll notice they're both different lengths of decimal numbers. So this has got tens, units, and only tenths after a decimal point, whereas this has just got units and then tenths and hundredths after decimal point. And the key to this is how we line them up. So I'm going to take this number first and place that in here, and then my other number, what I need to use is the decimal point to line these up. So I'm going to put that there. My decimal points are my guides. They line up in line here. The reason why that is well, the 3 and the 2 are both in the units column, they need to go together. The 4 and the 1 are in the tenths column, they need to go together. Now, at the moment, there's nothing in the hundredths column for this number. If we want, we can put a 0 in there. And it's probably good practice to do that, and you'll see why when we do the subtraction. Now all we need to do is just do the addition, and it's very similar to the other ways in which we do addition. So 0 plus 7 is going to give us 7. 4 plus 1 is going to give us 5. Put our decimal point in, don't forget that. 3 plus 2 is going to give us 5. And 6 plus nothing is going to give us 6. So there's our answer. When we're subtracting, we need to do the same thing. We need to be very, very careful as well. So again, I'm going to take this number first of all, put that in. I'm going to use the decimal point again to line up my other number. So my decimal point needs to go in the same column. Now it's really important we do add the zeros in this time, because at the moment we've got nothing take away 6, which we can't do. So it's a lot easier if I put that 0 on the end. I'm not making the number any bigger, because I'm just saying we've got 3 tenths and 0 hundredths, which is what we had before, so we didn't have a 0 there. The number hasn't got any bigger. Now we can then work this out. So 0 take away 6 we can't do, so we're going to steal from over here. We cross that through, that becomes a 2, and that becomes 10. And now 10 take away 6 we can do, that's 4. 2 take away 1 we can do, that's 1. Don't forget your decimal point, we've got to make sure we put that in. 4 take away 7 we can't do, so we can steal one from here, and that becomes 1. And then we have 14 take away 7, which is 7. And finally 1 take away nothing, which is 1. So our answer is 17.4. The key is remembering to line up these decimal points. The decimal points have to be lined up for your numbers. Doesn't matter how big or long the numbers are, use the decimal point as your guide. There's a couple of examples for you to have a go at. I got 35.6, add 6.82, and 72.4, take away 4.38. I'm going to, if you want to pause the video, and then I'll show you the answers in just a second. Okay, so your answers now. First thing I've done, you'll notice I've put the 0 in on the end of these numbers that had a shorter number, so they didn't have any hundredths. I've put them in to make it a little bit easier. And the other thing that's a really good tip is to make sure you put your decimal point in before you even start doing any calculations, because in both calculations they are always in the same line. The decimal points don't move. So now this one, 0 plus 2 gives us 2. 6 plus 8 gives us 14, so 4 there, carry the 1 over. 1 plus 5 is 6, add 6 is 12, so 2 there, carry the 1 over, and 1 plus 3 is 4. So 42.42, that was a coincidence. And this one here, we've got 0 take away 8, we can't do, so I'm going to come from here, cross that out, and make that into a 3. So we've now got 10 take away 8, which is 2. 3 take away 3, which is 0. 2 take away 4 we can't do, so steal from here. Make that to a 6. And we've got 12 take away 4, which is 8. And finally 6 take away nothing, which is 6. So the answer is 68.02. As I said before, the key is to make sure you line up your decimal points. All these decimal points in your working should be in the same location. I hope that helps.